There are three stories that you need to learn how to master when you are using storytelling in your sales process. And when you get this right, selling becomes conversational, it becomes enjoyable, and you are converting at a higher level that you've ever done before with less stress. Now, there are a lot of people out there saying, tell your story and you will make more sales. That's getting people to know about you. That's what we call a static story. Sit back, listen, let me talk about me. Let me talk about what I've done, and maybe you'll think that I can actually help you. Your bankable story is totally different. It takes them on a journey, and we start at the point where in the first 30 to 40 seconds, they are having the JLM effect, the just like me. They feel as if you're going to understand them. You're going to have empathy for them. They're leaning in to go on the journey of your story with you. At the end, when we've done it right, you are creating inspired desirability. They've seen what you've done. They've seen what you've created, how you're helping people, and they want those same results. Totally different to just hearing about you. So that's the first one, your bankable story, creating inspired desirability. The second story is to use in your sales conversation, and that is the hero story. When you're talking about a part of what it is that you do, you need to have hero stories where you can say, this person was just like you, suffering the same problems. Here's how we worked with them, and here are the results that we got for them. Is that something that you would like? Yes. Here's how we could do it together. The hero and the next one, the horror story, fit into a sales conversation template that is called the DNQC. Data, narrative, quantify, confirm. And here's how it goes. You're having a conversation. You're telling them about what it is that you're doing, what you can do to help them with a specific problem that they've knocked on the door for. So you're giving them some information about your unique system. Once you've got that nugget of information out, then you go into the narrative. And that's the hero story, or potentially a horror story. The hero story lets them know that this person, this company, this organization was suffering the same sort of issues they were. Here is the little bit of our system that we use and the quantifiable results that we delivered for them and the impact that it had on their business and those lives. So that's the data, the narrative, the quantify. If we were to do this for you, could you see this working for you? Yes, I'm just like them. I can see it's working for me. And then, well, if we were to do this, how would that work for you on a monthly, annual, and then you would quantify the results. Once those results are quantified, then it's the C, confirm. Would that be a priority of yours? See, once you've used the hero story, and they can see that you've done it for somebody else and you've quantified the results that you would get for them if they were to work together, that gives them absolute clarity on what it is. Now, when somebody has clarity around the pain, the problem, and the solution, the priority goes up. If they are foggy, if it's unclear, confusion kills conversion, clarity creates cash. Using hero stories puts them into the exact situation, and they can actually quantify with you to be able to create what we call the agreed implementable value. And you do that with your stories, the agreed implementable value. And once you're starting to do that and the agreed implementable value gets significantly greater than what they're going to pay, in their mind, it's hard for them to say no. But if all you are doing is a data dump, we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this, that is needing processing. 73% of the time, that will end up in fantastic information. Let me think about it. How many times do you get that? But when you collaborate with them and you tell them the story, they can visualize, they can put themselves into the situation of working with you. Again, that is enhancing the inspired desirability to work with you. So that's the hero story. Now, the horror story, hopefully you don't have too many of those, but the horror story is somebody who didn't work with you and they had created some impact, some negative impact by not working with you or working with somebody else. And when you started working with them, then they started getting some fantastic results. So the horror story is what went wrong before they got to you. and you turn that into a hero story, and can you see how, if you delay, if you put this off, if you do it yourself, or if you go to somewhere else, then you may end up like this horror story. So very quickly, that is the three stories, the three types of stories that you need to master if you want to be a salesperson that engages with people, that really gets them in and they trust you because of the stories that you are telling. There's more about storytelling. We've got some workshops coming up real soon, the art and the science of storytelling and how you can use stories to increase your sales through authenticity. There's going to be some links around here somewhere. Grab yourself a spot and we'll take you through on how you could use those three sets of stories to really enhance your business. Cheers.